Hey guys, quick video here. Welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address, if you don't already know what it is, it's www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. You should see it right here on the bottom of the screen. Today's video is going to be for your research professionals out there, and I'm going to talk about the importance of study participant retention in clinical trials. So I've done a lot of videos on recruitment and how to use social media to recruit and what are some best strategies for clinical trial study participant recruitment. I think that's very important. I'm going to keep making more videos like that. Today's video is actually going to be about retention. So what do you do after you've recruited this subject, after he or she has done a few visits, where maybe the protocol now has them coming in once a month or once every 2 weeks? How do you make sure that they come back? How do you retain the study participant? This is called retention. And in every clinical trial, for those of you who work at research clinics, you're going to be asked each time you get a new study, what's your retention rate? So obviously the higher your retention rate is, the better you're doing at retention in clinical trials. So some of the things, and technology actually helps a great deal. Some of the things we do at South Coast Clinical Trials, we start with the basic stuff. Weekly phone calls. So I don't care if they're coming in once a week, once a month, once a quarter. Weekly phone calls is required from all of our study coordinators, and it's supposed to be documented. Also, the text messaging, for those study participants who said it's okay for us to text them. We can text them, how they're doing. We can also text them their next appointment dates, things like that. Just anything you can do, any communication you can do to keep in touch with your study participants. Another thing some research clinics like to do that I haven't seen too much of, but I think we'll be seeing more of it, is email. So you can email your subjects, and it could be the PI, or if the PI doesn't have enough time, it could be a study coordinator. Just send a weekly email, say how things are going, how are you doing, whatever the method of communication might be. I've even seen some using Facebook, although that's less private. That's obviously a public place where other people can see. But email, texting, phone calls, these are private ways that we can just have that one-on-one interaction with our study participant and make sure that they come back. Retention is very important. And regardless of what the communication method is, you want to communicate several things. You want to make sure that they know they're still in the study. You want to make sure that they're still being compliant with the study medication. So you want to check compliance when you do this. You want to check for any side effects that they're experiencing, any adverse events, anything, headache, diarrhea, anything. Document, document, document. In research, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Another thing we do in our studies, because sometimes people have transportation problems, is we have our own drivers. For those study participants who require transportation, we'll have our own drivers that will go pick them up. And what I like to do is I like to send the same driver to pick up the same people over and over again. Why? Because it's another extension of our clinic. It's sometimes the study participants get to know the drivers, and so sometimes the drivers can help us out. Let's say the study participant moved or changed their phone number. The driver might be the first person to know that, and it's very important that you keep that communication open between your clinic and your driver so that he or she can notify you when study participant has moved or changed phone number, whatever. Any little thing can help because retention is super important. Pharma companies lose lots of money when study participants drop out of studies early. Oftentimes they don't get complete data, so then they need to enroll more subjects. You as a research clinic obviously are not going to get paid as much. You obviously get paid more if your study participant keeps coming in. So if they drop out, not only are you losing out on revenue, but you're also creating a retention rate which the study sponsors are going to be keeping track of. So regardless of what you might think, these pharma companies and these CROs, they are keeping track of your retention rate. So these are just some ways to keep track of your patients and make sure that they keep coming back. Make sure that you're doing everything you can to keep them coming back. And retention in clinical trials is very important. I want to give a shout out to our clinical trials guru producers. These are people who are lifetime producers. I'm only accepting 100 people. It's $99 for a lifetime membership. Can you believe it? That's the price right now. If I start getting an upsurge in people who want to be producers, I might have to increase that price because, again, I'm only accepting 100 people. After that, it's done. There's no more producers. Shout out to Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, Resolve Research Solutions, Accurate Clinical Trials, Erdhart Clinical Trials, PTNR, which is Dutch Farmer Girl, Patrick Stone from Tradestone LLC. We have Darshan Kulkarni from Kulkarni Law Firm. We have Biopharma Systems, Biopharm Systems, and we have Zymewire, as well as South Coast Clinical Trials and Breakthrough Clinical Trials. And if you want to be a producer, let me know. Again, $99 as of this moment for a lifetime membership, and it's not going to stay that way forever. I'm going to increase that price at some point. Thank you everyone for watching The Importance of Retention in Clinical Trials. This is Dan Svera from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.